Well, it's here. The long anticipated anniversary event is kicking off now, and we are busy before we have even become live with you. Catherine, oh my goodness, it's crazy. It's crazy already.
I didn't doubt it on this one. I really didn't doubt it. If you haven't already seen these moulds, oh my goodness. You know, when I always get asked, have you got a favourite?
Yeah.
And it's been impossible to choose a favourite. I might stick my neck out and say, this is my favourite one.
Well, I have to say, I've been watching social media and you shared the most incredible piece of art with this one, because it's almost like a story within a mould. It's not the character, it's the whole story. Now, we're going to go into it in all the nitty-gritty, but we are so busy. I need to kind of give you kind of T's and C's and all the things. So, it's an event. When we have an event, we know we've got a fabulous deal, especially when it's Zuri involved. So we've got one-day specials on your screen. But if you are placing an order for anything from Zuri, it has to be from Zuri, then you are going to get, while stocks last, a bonus gift. And it is a bonus bee. Oh, my goodness. This is amazing.
It really is. It's absolutely gorgeous. Now, this bee was retired.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, and it's been brought back because by popular demand, and also the point that, you know, as a free gift for Zuri's anniversary, then what better way than to give something that probably won't be around forever again. It will probably disappear again.
Incredible. We're going to have lots of bee jokes, I can hear. There's such a buzz around this particular one. There's your first starter for 5. So you will get that if you're placing your order for any of the Zuri moulds. We've got additional elements on the show. It won't be for those, it's for Zuri, but we've got that on one-day special. We've also got a quarter of the stock has gone of that, incidentally. We have also got the Zodiacs. If you saw the Zodiacs before, you've jumped ahead, you found them already. We've not got huge quantities of those, so if you're wanting to see them before we get to them, do have a look online. Please check them out. They are incredible. But Catherine, the one-day special, it's flying out.
I'm not surprised, honestly. Just look at the moulds. You can see the size of them, you can see the detail in there, but it's not until you see what you can actually create with these that it really does hit home. I know we've got some images to show. I'm just going to let everybody know. I think probably those that follow me on Facebook will know the stock has literally just arrived. So it is here, it's here in the UK. And the design team haven't even got these moulds yet. There's some of the moulds on the counter that I haven't got yet. But when it comes to the mushrooms that we've got here, and of course the angel blues, there's one lady in Holland that's actually got these, and she has done the most amazing samples. So I've got to say a massive thank you to Korea Red, because without Korea we wouldn't even have an image, because that's how close you know it is to getting these.
Well, this is it now. If you're wanting yours, you need to be quick with these. We will be showing you these obviously as the hours progress, but how long the stock will last, I really do not know. To make it even better, you've got two flexi buys on this one. I can't believe that we're able to do that. And don't forget, if you're placing your order for your one-day special, you're going to get your bonus bee as well. Now, I don't know how much you'd normally be paying for this bonus bee, but it's a considerable mould, as you can see here. So £9.99 you'd normally be paying for that. That is included, whatever you're placing your order for, whether it's the one-day special. With that first payment, it's not that you have to pay for it all in one go. You could be paying just £19.99. You'd get both of those moulds and your bonus bee. Everything is flying out. So details on your screen there, 970744. 2 flexi buys. Now the individuals, we always bring you individuals, but they have gone. They are no longer available. Technically sold out on both of those ones. So the details on your screen, just so we can give you those numbers. Don't make a note of them because they're not available. And to be honest, at £23.99, why would you want to pay for one of these when your first flexi buy on the 2 of them is actually less than the price of one of them? It doesn't make sense. So get rid of those details. They've gone. One-day special. They are flying out. These, a combination of the 2, a very ethereal feel to them. And you can see from the artistry that you've got on the packaging just how much detail you've got. I mean, every little tiny fin of those mushrooms, incredible detail.
Amazing detail. There's something else I spotted, you know.
Okay.
And I didn't realise it was even there until I demolded with some resin.
Okay.
There's a little slug and a snail in there as well.
Right. Oh, I think I can see it just over to the side. Oh, sorry, it's this one here, just over to the side there.
Yes, we'll see it when we see the image that Korea sent in, actually. These are beautiful. You can break these down so easily as well. I mean, these would look great around jars, you know, and maybe fill the jar with fairy silhouettes inside or something like that, you know, around
Catherine,
boxes.
what's the record for a sellout for a Zuri?
Oh, For a full sellout for 1 day special?
Well, it's not that at the moment. Only half. Only half has gone. No, only 5 minutes
I didn't even hear that. I've got my earpiece. I didn't even hear that.
Half the stock has
gone. Of the 1 day special?
Of the 1 day special. We had huge quantities of these. We knew how busy we would be for them because there's so much of a stir and a buzz about these before we were even able to bring them to you. Then. You're worried. You've got something to play with. Just got to stand here and talk about nothing. Mind you, I'm sure I can manage that as well. 970-744. If you want a new 1 day special, do not delay. The stock is here in the country. No extended delivery with regards to this. This is the thing. Usually with an American company, we'd be waiting and saying, oh, it's a week, it's 7 days. No, these are ready to go, but only if you are quick. Do you want to see what they look like? Have a look at this. This is beautiful. Catherine, how can you get this amount of detail in a mould?
Do you know, it's incredible, isn't it? It really, really is. That is amazing. That's one of Kriya's. I did say, I've got to say it again, thank you, Kriya, because without Kriya sending these images in, we wouldn't have had anything because stock has been so, you know, it's so tight to the launch getting here. Yeah. But it is just beautiful. But you can see there how you can break that down. You could just take one of the mushrooms. You know, they are called mushrooms, but of course we look at those and probably think toadstools. Yes. It doesn't matter, but as you say, Hayley, the detail, those fins underneath there, you could make these very fantasy, you could go quite dark and gothic with these as well. They're just beautiful. They really, really are. And we've got the mediums on the show as well, which will enable you to use these indoors and outdoors, which is absolutely fantastic. I love it. If you're wanting yours, please be quick. Of course, that is the first of the 2 moulds that we're talking about because you've got both of them within the 1 day special. This is absolutely incredible. Now, the detail you can see from the mould there with that beautiful wing, but how does it look when it's actually turned out? Oh, my goodness. So we've got the fairy there sitting on top of the toadstools that we've just been looking at. Do you know what? I get goosebumps every time I look at that. I couldn't stop looking at that yesterday. Again, from Kriya. She's a member of the design team with Zuri. She's the only one who has had these moulds. Nobody else has received them. But look at that. Now, I am going to say, because obviously on Facebook and social media, Zuri do sort of let us know what's coming out. Okay. They do let us know in advance what the designs are, even though we can't get them. There are so many people have contacted me about this particular one, not just the mushrooms, but also the angel blues as well. And it's not something I would normally bring up, but because I know it's been something that so many people have wanted to get hold of in memory of. It's just the most beautiful, beautiful mould. And
the thing is, you saw that, the thing that struck me with the picture, can we bring the picture back up again, Marcus? Look at her elbow. Her elbow, the back of her knee, the creases in the skin, the ankle.
Her ankle bone. Yeah. You can see around her eyes, you can see her nose, you can see her mouth, you can see her fingernails, you can see absolutely everything. And if you want to take the wings off, they are so easy to remove as well.
That's a really good point.
So it doesn't even have to be an angel, it could be whatever you want it to be. Sat on the mushrooms there, actually. If you wanted to take the angel wings off and put some fairy wings on, she could, of course, be a fairy as well.
Definitely. 60% of the stock has gone. Oh my word, we are so busy. I'm going to tell you a few of the other things that we've got available on the show because they are flying out as well. The only thing I can say is please jump ahead. Some of these items we haven't got huge quantities of. Catherine didn't even receive some of these and she said, oh, can I have one? No, we haven't got enough stock. Sorry, Catherine. So she's had to go with that. So especially those zodiacs, they do have a little look, but I need to show you this one. The astrolabe, is that right?
Astrolabe.
Astrolabe.
The astrolabe is an ancient scientific instrument. Okay. So it's used, it's kind of a compass for the stars, for the planets and the stars. Yes. I think.
You sold me.
No, it is. It's an ancient. It dates back right to the ancient Greeks.
Oh, okay.
I think this one in particular. When I saw the designs for this one, I had no idea the mould was going to be as big as it is.
What's that we've got in there as well?
Right. Okay. Now you do get a lens included with your mould.
Okay.
Now, obviously, once you've used that, once you've stuck that into place, that's it. You've used it. But you can use cabochons, and I've found an alternative way of making your own lenses as well.
Oh, okay. So
you do get lenses in the astrolabe.
And that's going to sit kind of in that. Obviously, you've got the reverse of it, but you'll find that there's a little kind of area for you to sit that in when you're actually creating yours.
This is really clever, Hayley, because you see the little posts that are sticking out. They actually form holes in the pieces. Oh, so if you wanted to attach with a brad or a paper fastener or a pin of some sort, you know, you could even make a pin out of wire. you can actually have it as a working mechanism.
Oh my goodness. £23.99. Phenomenal value for money. That is a big mould. But what does it look like when it's turned out? Well, here you go. This is one of the ways that you could be working with it. And this is amazing. To think that you've got that hole in the centre there that would actually mean that you could rotate that almost like magnifying key almost that you've got on the front there. Absolutely beautiful. 30% of the stock has gone. Now, don't forget, it could be that you're not going for your one-day special. If not, why? But you're going to get your bonus gift. If you're going down the route of getting it via that way, then that's okay. You will still get your B mould, which you'd normally be paying $9.99 for, if you could get hold of it. It's one that has actually been brought out of retirement. You're swarming in. Yeah. I can almost hear the buzzing from where I am. Oh dear. They're all going to roll out in this hour, aren't they? So if you're wanting your astrolabe, then the details are there on your screen, $23.99. Now, I tried to warn you about the zodiacs. Now, we've got loads of them. We've got loads here. So we have seen Scorpio previously, and I think, is that the only one that we've seen previously, Catherine?
It is, and we saw that last November, and we were promised more. Yeah, I'm so pleased they're here. Again, I've seen images. In fact, we've got the same images on the packaging. These are absolutely amazing. They really, really are.
Now, it's a bit like buses. We had Scorpio and then all the others arrived together. So we have got Aries, limited in stock. We're going to go fly through these. Obviously, for each of these, you've kind of got the zodiac images. You've got, obviously, elements that are pertaining to that zodiac sign, but you've also got your terminology and your little plaque alongside these. So that one's Aries. That one is limited in stock. They've got different item numbers for each of these. So Aquarius is your next one with this one. That one is technically sold out. So if you've got it in your baskets, you need to be checking your baskets out. Brilliant as a star sign, but beautiful design nonetheless as well. And don't forget, any of these, you've got the frames within these as well, so you can utilise them without the text if you're wanting to. Gemini, the twins. This one is limited in stock. 2 for 1 with this one, isn't it, if you've got twins? And of course, a beautiful one again, whether you're using it with the connotations of the zodiac or you're using it just because it's a beautiful design, but you need to be quick. Limited stock, £23.99. Knew we were going to be busy for this. I didn't realise I'd be giving you limited stock updates at this stage so early on in the hour. So moving down to the front, Pisces. Now this is one that Catherine absolutely adored. Sadly, it has sold out though, so it has gone technically sold out. So if it's in your basket, you need to be checking your basket out. Look at those fine details of the scales there on the fish, incredible. So we had to say goodbye to Pisces. So what have we got next? Cancer, this is my birth sign, so we're coming into July with regards to this particular one. £23.99. 80% of the stock has gone with regards to this particular one. So much detail within there, and again, different frames. If you notice that they're different style frames with each one of these, that could be the moulder that you're getting hold of to get hold of your bumblebee, because of course that £9.99 bumblebee will be on its way to you, whichever of these you are placing your order for. Taurus, the bull in a china shop. This one, 80% of the stock has gone. So I think we're looking at, is it June time? May time. Also very current really, isn't it? So yeah, the current, or maybe just, are we on the cusp? We could be on the cusp, couldn't we? It's just gone. Oh, it's just gone. We've just gone past the cusp. 980542, £23.99. And then finally Scorpio, which is right through the winter time, isn't it, that one? And this is one we have seen before, haven't we, with the Scorpio, have, with the Scorpion featuring on this one. And again, we're looking kind of November time with this one, aren't we? Yeah. So 472967. Of course, if you're wanting to go for them as a collection, you can do. We haven't got a big bundle, so you're going to have to be quick because they've all got different item numbers. And the rate that they are going, they are flying out. I do hope we get to see more of these. And apparently the website's crashed as well. Phone lines are going to be busy, but the one-day special, if you're wanting it, here you go. Over 70% of the stock has gone. It's not even 6:15. I think we need to get to the demonstration as soon as we can. 970744. If you are wanting yours, the details are there on your screen. Don't leave it until you've seen a demonstration. You saw how incredibly detailed those pieces are. Please get hold of yours before we see the end of the demonstration. We've got 10-minute queues on the phone lines. I only hope we've got enough stock to see those people through their orders. Catherine, over to you.
Do you know, I feel quite redundant. I don't think you need me, actually. I think you've fallen in love with them, and why wouldn't you? They are absolutely amazing. But of course, we do have other products on the show as well. Do you know what? Hayley, every time I do these shows, I've said this to you, I think, and I've said this to various members of staff here as well. Do you know, I start the show more or less in the same way with the clay, talking through the clay, how to use it. And because I've been using clay moulds for such a long time, you tend to think, do you know, so everybody's seen this, so they're getting a little bit bored with this. But, you know, every time prior to a show, I see somebody posting about clay sticking in a mould,
right,
or how do I colour. So it shows me that it's always worth doing that.
It's important, because I know from personal experience, I've done what I thought has been the right thing, and I don't realise just how much it needs to dry out before it's ready to use. So no, I'm all ears.
Well, it was only the other day, I'm not going to mention the lady's name, but because it wouldn't be fair without permission, but somebody else did post again. She'd got the mould, she'd used the hearty clay, which we've got on the show, the white and some of the coloured as well. She'd mixed some of the red in to make a pink, and it was all stuck into the mould. So she asked, what am I doing wrong? You are not doing anything wrong. If anybody else has the same issue, it is not your fault. It's simply that the clay is too wet. So I'm going to start where I always start, with the clay. And my top tip, and this is the white hearty, is to give this a little bit of a conditioning.
Okay.
But when you take it from the pack. Now, this has already been drying out just to speed things up a little bit for demonstration. When you take it from the pack, if I just get a little bit of this one, you'll find that when you first take it out, it looks quite fibrous, it breaks apart quite easily. The more you stretch and knead this, the more malleable it becomes. Now, this isn't a fresh pack, actually. This is some that I've had out, so it's not probably as wet as yours would be if you were opening a new pack. But once you start stretching that and it becomes really, really malleable, you'll see that it doesn't stretch apart, it doesn't break apart the same, it doesn't look so fibrous. You can see it's really starting to
a little bit more gooey.
A little bit, yeah. It doesn't feel gooey. It doesn't leave a residue on your hands at all. I'm showing you my hand now. Wait while the end of this show, it's going to be absolutely plastic.
The only time you're going to see it that clean.
But you know, it's lovely to work with, and it's important to say it's a professional grade clay as well. This is used by professionals. It is absolutely perfect for your moulds. Now, to enable things to dry a little bit before you put them into your mould, what I tend to do is roll out and just let the air get to the surface.
Okay.
It is quite difficult to say how long, because it depends on the temperature, it depends on the humidity. I would probably say give it 5 to 10 minutes one side, flip it over, just give it 5 minutes at the other side.
And I must admit, when I was working for clay for the first time, I thought, oh, Catherine said 5 minutes, so 5 minutes, 5 minutes. But I still found that I needed longer. But I suppose it depends on how warm it is, whether it's a wet day that you're working with it.
Temperature and humidity will change things. And actually here, when the air conditioning is on, although we feel very cold, it's actually more drying than the heat. But when you've done that, and I'll always repeat this as well, I'm bringing in our Angel Blues. When I'm at home, I tend not to dust the moulds with corn flour. I tend to go straight in with the clay, but you must make sure that your clay is dried enough, because if it is sticky...
Very quickly, can I just give a public service announcement? Put my poshest voice on now. We are 13-minute queues on the phone line, so apologies, but we're approaching limited stock with this one as well. Yeah, approaching limited stock, my goodness. 13 minutes. Oh my goodness.
I better crack on with this demo then, hadn't I?
Well, I'm not really rude, but yeah.
Right. Okay. Right. So we're just going to go in with the white clay first of all. So I'm going to take some of the clay. This has been drying out a little bit before the hour. You can go in with it rolled out and then sort of work that way, or you can just go in with a ball of clay. Okay. So I always like to talk through the method of putting this into the moulds. Sometimes I use a tool to help me put it into the mould, but actually something I love about Angel Blues is there's no really fiddly bits with this one. Probably the thinnest area, or the fiddliest area, is the little draping on the skirt there. There's a little point where the fabric comes to.
And are these points that you get to know as you work with the mould?
Oh yeah, definitely, definitely. So with this one, I know I can just go with my fingertips because I've done it. If you find that you can use the tool, if you're struggling a little bit, if you want to use a tool to push into the mould, then you can do. Now, it doesn't matter if you get too much clay in there, which I did on purpose just to show you. Once you start filling that mould up, my advice really for something like this is to fill right to the top, at least initially. There are occasions where I won't fill to the top, depending on what I'm doing, and we'll go through that in demonstration if we get to do demonstrations.
Okay.
Do you know, I actually booked to stay over tonight, Hayley. I don't know if I'll be going home.
At this rate.
Now, when you roll with your rolling pin, and that is a good tool to have, don't go for a wooden one, go for an acrylic or a nylon one. So the cake decorators type are perfect.
Okay.
And once you roll over the top, you're really compacting that clay down. And that's important because if you don't do that, you're not going to pick up the detail. Now, you can see now it's coming together. I'm just going to roll again. Really, really press down on that. So I'm just going to start to clean this up now. Now, by cleaning up, all I mean is you can see that's nice and flat with the top of the mould. Doesn't matter how hard you press there with the rolling pin as well, because you're not going to damage that mould.
Okay.
I'm going to continue to speak about the moulds as we go through, about what you can and can't do with them as well.
Catherine, just as you're working that into the mould, I just want to speak to you at home. If you're having any problems with the website has literally gone into meltdown. There's so many of you trying to place your orders on the phone lines, sorry, on the website. Obviously, those of you who are having an experience of a bad situation with the website, you're jumping onto the phone line, so the phone lines are incredibly busy as well. The only thing I can say is just keep persevering, keep trying to check out that basket. That's the only thing I can say. It's a bit like a lottery. You will get through there, but it's just the fact that there's so many of you on there at the same time that's causing the issues. There's not a lot we can do about it. And our phone lines, call operators are getting through those calls as quick as they can. So please bear with us. This is something we knew we'd be busy, but we really did not expect it to be as it is. I must admit, when we saw the beginning, then we had our little meeting and we looked at the quantity. I thought, oh, that's plenty. That'll see us right the way through until the morning at least. Not until, I mean, we're not even halfway through the hour and the stock is looking increasingly vulnerable. And that's with the issues that we're having. So if you've got it in your basket, just try checking that basket out. That's the only advice I can give you at this moment, but we will try and get you all sorted with that one as well. So yeah, just keep going, keep hanging on in there. Sorry, okay. Catherine.
No, not at all. We have to let everybody know, don't we?
It's just sheer volume.
It really is. I'm not surprised. I did say that earlier on. Yeah, if it's hard for me because every time there's a new range come out, I think, can you really get any better? Can you really get any better? And when I saw these, when they arrived with me, I was blown away. Yeah. Oh no, I've just heard that one. I've got an earpiece and I'm kind of in my own little head at the moment, and I didn't catch it earlier, but I caught it that time, Hayley.
Yeah, what did they say?
Limited.
Limited.
There's no point in whispering it, is there?
No, I think your reaction pretty much blew it out. Yeah. No surprising you really, is there, when you get an... Oh,
I've not even revealed this yet. Okay. Right, okay. Oh, limited stock. Oh, my goodness. Right, so to tidy it, and this goes with any mould, so it doesn't have to be this particular one.
Okay.
Once you've got the clay in there and you flatten the back, take the time to tidy it with a fingertip just by pulling in from the edge of the mould. Any tidying up that you do now will save you sort of going up and tidying up later. Now, by tidying it, all I'm meaning is if you just pull away from the top of the mould itself, and so you can see that outline. Sometimes you think you've got it perfect, and then you find there's a little bit overhanging. So if you really just use that fingertip just to pull that in. If you go too far, you can always, of course, fill that again.
Again, the foot and the ankle.
I know. I mean, it is
the instep and everything is there.
It's just stunning, isn't it? Now, this clay, I can tell. I always say to people, get to know the feel of the clay. And although I've had that drying, I know it could still be a lot drier. Okay. But because this mould isn't particularly fiddly, I mean, the foot is the vulnerable part. So is the bit of the dress there as well. So as I start to flex this, I'm going to do this on purpose first of all. Okay. Can you see what's happening? Now this bit is actually lifting, which shows, if I just get, you can see that really well, can't you? Okay. That's what you're looking for with your clay.
Right, so that's where the dress is.
That's where the dress is. Yeah? Now the foot, you can see as I'm just flexing a little bit there, the stretch is almost where the knee is. So if your clay is too wet, that's the area where it's really going to stick, and you might find it just pulls the clay apart. Right. So a little tip. Try going all the way around first. Okay. So give it little flexes, the vulnerable area. Just watch that, you know, just be careful. We can ease this one out, I'm sure. In fact, you can see it coming out now.
It's starting now, yeah.
If the whole thing is stretching, take your clay out, roll it out, let the air get to it. Isn't this beautiful?
Oh, that is breathtaking.
Look at that.
Oh, my word,
Can
look
I hold
at
that to the front camera? Would that
Please
help?
do.
I'll try not to let her slide down. She almost makes me want to cry when I look at her. She really does. I just think it's the most beautiful.
It's beautiful. It's delicate. It's beautiful. It's mindful. It's something that, I mean, you see beautiful angels and things like that quite often with kind of situation of sympathy, of thoughtful, of mindfulness, and that's what I'm seeing from her.
Well, I did say it earlier. I wouldn't have sort of mentioned this if it hadn't been for so many people contacting me, Hayley, and saying they were so keen to get this because they wanted to do something in memory of someone, whether it be onto a photo frame, whether it be on an album. You know, it just conjures up that image of an angel that, you know, is sorrowful.
Caring nature, isn't it?
I just hope people aren't going to be disappointed because they're going to miss out now. Now, I am going to stay with this one just for the time being, because another question that is always asked is about colouring. Now, obviously, I've gone with the white there, and I actually think she looks beautiful just in the white. There's many times I've shown you how I do a wash with acrylic paint and bring out the detail, which works wonderfully, so you could work with that. Of course, you could go with your black clay or your resins and just bring out the detail with your waxes and paints. But if you're wanting, let's think back to Kriya's image. Beautiful angel on the mushrooms. She had the skin tone. My top tip is, if you are creating anything and you're going to paint the colours in, try and create the skin tone colour by mixing the colour. Rather than painting it on, because if there's one colour you're not going to get right or you're going to be unhappy with, it's going to be the skin tones. Whether it's a light skin tone, a darker skin tone, it doesn't matter. It's so difficult to get right. So how do we get over that? Well, it's quite easy, really. If I just put this one to one side, and it's easy because we have the clay, we have the coloured clay as well, so we've got the hearty. Now, I don't know if this little chart is on as an end of call this time. I know we've got a Clay Masters show coming up. A lot of people have got this already. If it isn't on at the moment, we are going to get it back on a Clay Masters show. But I'm going to show it just at the moment because it's a mixed in chart. Lots of you, I know lots of you have got this. So this is a little gauge. Just in case we haven't got it, I'm not going to actually use this. I'm going to do this without. But I just want to show you how, you know, you can see how the different... Yeah, it is. So using the gauge, it shows you the amounts of colour that you want to mix certain tones. So we can see with the fleshy tones, it's going to be the white, which is going to be the biggest amount, a little bit of yellow and a little bit of the red. You could actually use the magenta as well, which is the pink. But it's showing the red on here. So, do you know what? I'm going to put that to one side just in case it's not there, because I know it is coming back.
Well, hopefully we'll be able to check later. If you've managed to check out your basket, can you let me know? Email in. Did you get offered the opportunity? Because we can't check it. We can't get onto the website like many of you.
Now, we do have the hearty colours, I believe. We have everything. These are well worth getting because it's normally a pick and mix, so we'll bring the details up and we'll have a look at that.
That's it, and you've got loads of different options with these. Of course, these are already pre-mixed because the beauty is you can mix a little of those different colours to get the different combinations. It's a case that we can't get that kind of colour chart. Is it similar to like if you're using watercolour paint, you've got a chart that shows you how to do combinations?
Yeah, you could do that. Yeah, the bonus with the little gauge that we've got is, of course, you can measure out accurately. But you know, I'm not going to do that. Now, I did look at the chart, and the fleshy tones are the yellow, the red, and the white. So the white is the largest amount, the yellow the second amount, and the red is the smallest amount. Now, I haven't mixed anything yet. I am going to change that, but I think we've got some more details to give.
We have. Now, with regards to the hearty, just to let you know, it is on extended delivery. It's the 1st of June. It's a pick and mix, so you can choose any 3 of those. So, of course, you might be going with the colours that Catherine's using at the moment, or you might be going for things like the green. You've got the red in there as well. All of these are available, so keep a note of that item number, and, of course, you can top up on these ones as and when you need to. $13.99 for 3 50-gram packs. Now, if you are placing your order for those and nothing else, you won't get your bonus gift, because your bonus gift is because it was the Zuri anniversary. So just bear that in mind. Now, here's the gauge that we spoke of a few moments ago. There it is. Catherine, you can use it.
I can use it.
152 535. The beauty is you're getting that gauge, but you're getting the hearty clay in the different colour combinations as well. Prepare yourself, because everybody's going to want this now as well. 152 535, £32.99. Now, if you're wanting to get more more of your clay, we have got twin packs available for you, and we're busy for these as well. Many of you are going for these because this one is kind of like your air dry clay, and it's a neutral tone with this one. So you've got 400 grams in total, 200 in each one of those packs there, £17.99. So 040721. Back to Catherine and her gauge.
Okay, right. Obviously, we've only got very, very small bits here. You do get a little scoop in there as well, which is really handy. A little tool. You can use that to sort of press down or use your fingertips, but it's also handy for other things as well. So don't lose it. It's worth keeping. Now, I did look at the little chart, and it was telling me use I, and these are all lettered. It is quite difficult to see on the camera there. You can just see
yes, you can just see like the impression there, yeah.
I is the white, C is the yellow, and A is the red.
Clever.
Okay, this is where the tool comes in actually, because to get those little bits out, it's easier just to sort of pick them up out of there. Now these are completely fresh bits of clay from new packs actually. So if I mix together the white that we've got, the yellow and that tiny bit of red, these are so highly pigmented. This is why you need just small amounts. I wouldn't have known
where to get started. Yeah. I suppose you start off with the white and you think, oh, I'll add some of the red in, and then it can end up that it looks very almost like sugared almonds, not flesh tone.
Exactly. Exactly. Now, the colour I'm making is quite a peachy, apricot-y colour, actually, so it's going to be a little bit dark for me. So I am just going to add some more, but this is a great gauge for getting those colours correct, and then you can adjust them however you want to adjust them. So that, to me, is a little bit yellowy, a little bit... it is kind of orangey, but I want more than that because I want to put this into the mould.
Okay.
So I'm almost there with it. I'm just going to go with a little bit more of the red. I'm actually going to take advantage of the little scoop and the
And I suppose you can make your own little kind of recipe cards with this as well, can't you, as you work your way through it?
Colours like, I always mention the teal with this because I never know how to make teal. And teal is so easy to mix when you've got this gauge.
Yes, yeah.
So what I tend to do with this, because if you're making flowers or something small, then this is great with those amounts. But if you're doing bigger areas, then of course you want to make more. Now you could just keep filling those gauges and mixing to the ratios, or you can start to see what you're getting there. Now, I'm going to go quite pale with the skin tone, so I am just going to put a blob of white in.
And I'm guessing anything that you don't use, you kind of just securely wrap it up, put it into an airtight bag, and then you can use it at a later stage.
Exactly, exactly. So we're going to go with this one. I have gone with some more white in there, but I wanted a bit more clay. I'm quite happy with that, actually. So what we're going to do, we're going to bring our angel blues in. We've still got it at the moment, haven't we?
You're okay if you're quick.
Well, just a little bit of corn flour in there to be on the safe side, simply because...
And joking apart, I mean, we do apologise for so many issues that you're experiencing at the moment. We are trying to get it sorted out. It's just so many people have gone for this at the same time. So, yeah, just keep trying, hang on in there, and you will find that you can place your order.
Okay, now because this is very, very fresh, I know that is wetter than I would normally want it, so we'll see what happens when we release it. But of course, she's got a face, she's got her arm, she's got a leg. They want to be the fleshy tones. So I think with this one, I could, if I wanted to really take time, is really just pick out those details, but it would be quite difficult to do that. So what I'm going to do is go into the mould with the flesh tone, and I'm going to fill all of the bottom half of it. So it will catch a face, it will catch her arm, it's also catching a dress as well, but of course I can paint that whatever colour I want.
That's true.
It's just that the skin tone is so difficult to achieve. And sometimes if you go a little bit heavy with your paint, you're going to lose those features, you know, the ankle bone and those beautiful delicate features, and you don't want to do that.
And you've got such a lovely colour there. And it is
a
like
nice
you
colour,
say, it's just getting... Don't forget, with your combination of your trio of your pick and mix, then you could quite easily get those. But we have got the bundle where you've got the kind of the little element for all the little kind of balls of colour that you're going to need with your different combinations as well. So if you're wanting to go, it's not really the best way of describing it, is it? You know, your little spheres of colour. There you go, that's better, isn't it? Starting off with your white being the largest block, but then you've got obviously your magenta there and the yellow, the blue, and also your black in there, and of course that gauge with the tool there and all your different combinations for how you're going to be able to make all those fabulous colours. But that flesh tone is beautiful, but it's adaptable, like you say, to whether you want it lighter, darker, or whatever tone you choose.
Because you've got you've really got primaries there, because you've got magenta, the blue and the yellow. So that kit is amazing because you can make any colour you want. The black, if you're mixing other things into the clay, because you can do that as well, I'll talk more about that as we go through the shows. but you are never going to mix a true black. If you're mixing into white clay, you're always going to get grey.
My goodness, the quantities that you'd have to add in, yeah. And then you're going to change the colour, the consistency, aren't you?
So what I've done here, I've just applied the clay into the bottom half, and I think because this is going to be an angel, I'm going to keep her wings white. I don't want to paint these afterwards. I think if they're already white, I might put a little bit of detail into them with, you know, a wash or something like that, but there's no need to actually paint them white if they're already white. So I'm just going over the top of where I've been. That's securing that wing there. Doesn't matter about the top. This is going to be stuck onto something. As long as I've covered that detail, I'm fine. Now again, I'm just going to top this up as much as possible so that when I go over with a rolling pin, it is going to really pick up all that detail. I'm really compacting it down. So over the top we go. And now you can see where you've got a little bit too much because, you know, you can just pull away. If you pull out of the mould, just put it back in. There we are, just clean up as you go. So again, I'm back to that stage where I just want to sort of neaten all the edge up. So we've got that outline. One thing I wouldn't say to do, I think I started saying it and then I think we did an update. If your clay is too wet, don't leave it in the mould to dry. You'll be waiting hours and hours. And actually, the water tends to sink to the bottom of the mould.
Most things it would go down,
So even though you could have left it for hours on end, you might touch the back and think, oh yeah, that's dry. It's not, and it'll stick that way. So take it out of the mould, roll it out, and let the air get to it. It's much quicker to do it that way as well.
Top tips as to where we should leave them to dry out? I mean, can we put them on a windowsill, on a radiator?
I wouldn't put them anywhere where it's intense heat, so don't leave them in a conservatory if it's really hot, don't leave them in a window if it's baking sun. The reason being, if you dry these too quickly, you'll find they curl.
Right, okay.
Because it's too intense. Don't put your heat guns on them. There are the odd occasion where I've done that. It's not going to do any harm as such, but again, you're over drying it. And if you dry it unnaturally, it can go a little bit brittle as well.
So just be patient.
Yeah. So let's see with this one because, well, actually.
Oh my goodness, and that's literally just gone in.
It is, and this was quite wet, this clay, so it's a really good mould to work with, actually. This is one of the, sometimes there are moulds that are quite easy to work with and some that are a little bit more difficult.
Oh my word.
Oh, look at that.
Oh, Catherine.
Now, I will let that completely dry and then I will paint in her dress and her hair.
And you're so right that, I mean, now the trickiest bit has been done, hasn't it?
Yeah.
With that gorgeous flesh tone that you've got there.
And do you know what I'm thinking as well? I'm just thinking, let's just put that to one side. Let's bring just a little bit more. Don't think I actually need. I wondered whether you were going to do that then.
Yeah,
I always look at ways of adapting things. I've already said you can take away the wings, but I like to make things more dimensional as well. So, of course, an angel would have two wings, wouldn't it? Now, they're obviously folded together, so you only see one from the side.
Yes.
But actually, you can change it. And if you want two wings on the angel, just take an extra wing.
And she's
from
a
the mould.
beautiful person in her own right. So, I mean, she almost looks like she could be a dancer or a,
Do you know, I did think that,
girl.
I think if you take the wing away, she's definitely a dancer. And we've seen how you can sit her onto the mushrooms as well. You could sit her onto something. You could sit her into a frame, which would be absolutely beautiful. Now, when you take in smaller pieces from the mould, don't worry if you overlap and there's a little tatty area that, you know, you've gone into a part that you don't want. You can just cut that away. With a pair of scissors, it's easier to do that when the clay is wet than dry. Well, actually, it's easy both ways, but if you take it when it's wet, although that's the tiniest bit, you can reuse that clay.
True.
But of course, now I wouldn't sort of flip it the other way because we're going to see the back.
Yeah.
But if we wanted just to have the two wings like that, what I would do, I'd need to prop up this one because you can see with the moisture in there, it's just going to it's going to want to sit flat. So a little bit of extra clay if you want to, or you could use a bit of scrunched up tin foil or something like that. Just something to hold that wing so it's not going to flop. Once it's dry, it's going to stay in that position.
Beautiful. Catherine, thank you. Thank you for all those hints and tips. Absolutely amazing. Now, I'm going to do a quick recap so as Catherine can reset her demo. We'll be back with her in just a few moments. But of course, this is the launch out of the most incredible one-day special. Now, I know lots of you experiencing issues and you've been emailing in. I just need to acknowledge, thank you for emailing in. We are trying to do our best to get it all sorted, but it's purely that so many of you have come to place your order at the same time. And I know we should expect it to be busy. We did, but we just did not anticipate just how many many of you would be wanting to get hold of these. So I can only apologise unreservedly, but we will get to you. So please, please, please do persevere. If you find that you've had issues, then just get back in there. I know how frustrating it is, but we will be able to, obviously you see the recaps and go back and watch the demonstration. So your main objective is to keep trying. And we are seeing orders go through because we can see the quantities going down of the stock that we've got. So lots of, if you've been kicked off, if you thought that you've been kicked off because there isn't any stock available, it's not. It's just purely the quantity, and it's just literally hit and miss as to whether you get through. Similarly with regards to the phone lines, lots of you placing your orders. We don't have an infinite number of people answering the phones, unfortunately, but they are going as quick as they possibly can, so they will get to you. So just keep trying, try the app, whichever way. I can only apologise on behalf of us all here because we wish it was so much different, but it's not. We just have to deal with it. So let me show you what is causing such a stir. It's the anniversary, the first anniversary of Zuri joining us here at the craft store, and they've been an amazing company. From their launch a year ago, they have been causing such a stir. Initially, that build-up was obviously because of the gorgeous designs, but so many of you are fans now, and you're collecting these moulds, and quite rightly so. Now, this is a lovely pairing of two that work so well together. You've got the fabulous toadstools and the mushrooms, if you're wanting to call them, almost like a fantasy scene, as you can see there, the little snail there, absolutely adorable as well. This one is amazing. Now, obviously, you've got your base there for your design, and it's almost like you've got an ensemble or a story almost within the mould, and that's what Zuri do so well. They give you a story within a mould. It's not just a toadstool, it's not just a snail, it all comes together, but equally so, you can pick out certain areas of these. But once you actually add your clay or your resin, whichever medium you choose to work in, and you turn it out, this is when you start seeing just how incredible these are. So this is the toadstool one. We've got a picture that we're going to share with you that shows you all the detail that you're getting from this. And this is something that Zuri do so well. The detail that you've got here is absolutely amazing. The tiny little fins there that you've got on the underside of the toadstool, all picked out to perfection. So that is that first mould. It's a good size mould, that particular one. You can see all that detail there. Then, of course, accompanying it, you've got the fabulous angel. Absolutely beautiful. Angel Blues, this one is called. The wing detail, phenomenal. And then, of course, the beautiful angel herself with the amount of detail, the tone of her skin, the smoothness, the elbows, the ankles. It's all absolutely amazing. Even the one that Catherine was working with, the bottom of her foot. I know it sounds ridiculous, but you can actually see the sole of her foot on that one as well. And, of course, she works beautifully alongside the toadstool. She can sit there quite neatly on top. Everything is in perspective. Absolutely beautiful. Two flexi buys on this one of £19.99, and because it's the anniversary, you are going to get a bonus gift. If you're placing any orders for any of the Zuri products, you will get one of these. While stocks last, which at the rate we're going, it's probably not going to be too long, and you'd normally be paying £9.99. This one has actually been retired, but it's been brought out of retirement through popular demand, and again, it's something that would lend itself so well to working with that beautiful angel blues as well. Absolutely gorgeous. You don't have to do anything other than place an order for a Zuri product. There's no codes, nothing else you have to do. They will take care of that for you. It might be that this is the mould that you're choosing to take advantage of that bumblebee. Well, this is brilliant because this comes together as, it's actually something that, I'm not going to say you can use it with regards to kind of getting the details. It's actually an antique element, shall we say, but you've got the mechanism, the movement of this. So where you've got those kind of little pips in the middle there, that will create a hole, which means that if you're wanting to, you can turn it into a working mechanism. You've got your fabulous little cabochon there. Now, obviously, you've only got one of these, but Catherine's going to give us hints and tips on how we can make more of these as time goes on. But this is a brilliant one, £23.99. Absolutely amazing. We've got a fabulous photograph of this one as well, which when it's all put together, you've got your multiple layers there. But isn't that an amazing look? Almost like a time travel piece there. 969-750 if you're wanting to get hold of your astrolabe there. Absolutely beautiful. Now the clay, this is flying out as well. Lots of you taking advantage of this because of course the combination that you've got of working those together means you are going to be able to get your flesh tones quite easily. You've got your combination of your hearty white in the largest block there, as you can see, 200 grams, but then you've also got 4 of your 50 gram packs giving you the ability to mix them together. And how do you get your colour combinations? Well, you've got that fabulous colour mixing sliding scale there, which makes it so easy for you to get the right combination. Now with this one, we are looking at extended delivery because it's Hearty Soft. Everything from Zuri is ready for immediate dispatch, but the Hearty Soft, we're looking at the 1st of June. So that's kind of just over 10 days or so, something like that. Week, 10 days, I don't know. We get paid on Friday, that's all I know. A week tomorrow, there you go, 152535 if you're wanting to get hold of that one as well. Now, if you want to stock up on specifics, then we have got your white available in a twin pack, and this one here, you can see your air drying clay again. With this particular one, again, extended delivery, £17.99 for this 040721. And then you pick a mix. This is where you can decide if you just need to kind of fill in any gaps within your stash, then this is the way to do it. Or if you envisage yourself doing a lot of a particular tone, then this is a good way of stocking up on those. So keep a note of that item number. You can revisit this as often as you like, but 516165 if you're wanting. Now, your polymer clay. Now, this is something I'm going to get Catherine to chat about this one as well, because of course with the polymer clay, this is something different. Now, this is if you want it to have more durability. Is that right?
I love the Medina clay. Yes. Now, this is an air dry polymer. It's very similar to a cold porcelain, but it's a resin clay. All these different names can be used for it. It's very malleable. It works very differently to the air dry, the Hearty air dry that we're using, and I will speak about that as we use it in demonstration. But you can put this one outside.
Right.
With the Hearty, the lightweight one, it's very, very porous, so I wouldn't suggest using it outside. But with the Medina, you certainly can. Perfect. Because it stays malleable for quite some length of time as well, you can still shape it around your pots, your vases, your glassware, you know, whatever you want to shape it around. It says it's white on the outer packaging there, but it's kind of an off-white colour. Okay. But you can paint it, you can add colour to it as well. Not your acrylic paints, don't use those. As I say, I'll come back to this because we will use it in some demonstration, but it's very, very strong.
There you go. So I think the top and bottom of it is if you want to create anything that needs to go outside, then this is the clay that you need. £11.99, so affordable as well. 641548. Catherine, we're going to come back to you.
I'm playing.
What are you up to?
I'm fiddling and playing.
Oh, it's like a little jigsaw.
Do you know, I was going to do the resin this hour with the astrolabe. I think we've got time to bring the astrolabe in, but just while I was here, and you were going down the counter, I thought, you know, I'm just going to stay with the one-day special for a little while. Using, of course, the Hearty clay again, so the coloured clay, I've put some red directly into the top of the mushroom here. Now, I'm just going to put my glasses on, which are covered in cornflour. There's so much detail in here, and I wouldn't suggest spending hours and hours trying to pick out every single bit. Some of these bits are so fiddly, it's just not worth that effort. But if you've got large areas that you can pick out the detail of, anything you can pre-colour is going to be a bonus. So I've put the top in there. There is an area here, but I'm going to put the red bit in separately. There you can see those fins. I don't know what the official name for that is. Under a toadstool or a mushroom?
I
don't know what it is.
I'm sure there is a word for it because I know we've come across it before. I don't know. What would I don't know. Fins of a... Yeah, fins of a toadstool, I don't know. Underside of a toadstool, I don't know what you'd use. Don't know.
No,
we'll leave
I don't know
either. Leave that one with Charlotte. Get back to some editor.
Now, I am just sort of pushing in some white clay into here as well. I'm going to add a little bit more colour. But
gills.
Gills, that makes sense.
There was another word that sounded like manamana, but we'll go with gills because I can say that one.
Now, top tip if you're going to put different colours into a mould is take a cast with one colour first so you can see which areas lie where, because it's easy to see the best combination of how to layer things up. But I'm just going to put a few little bits and pieces in here. If you overfill the areas, you might find a little bit of bleeding of colours in between the designs, but that's not too much of an issue. You can sort that out afterwards. I'm not going to worry about the grass and the snails. They're just going to go in with the white. Okay. So let's pop that in there now.
This is a really good tip, using those different colours to kind of fill in the big bits.
Yeah, well, you know, you can go with your clay and you can still go with your colours, and you can use all sorts of colours with the Hearty. I mean, watercolours, acrylics, waxes, all those things can be used to colour once you've started or once you've dried out the mould. But anywhere that you can add that depth of colour, I mean, a true red again, you're not going to get that if you're mixing red into the white clay. You're going to get pink every time. Yes, different shades of pink, but you're not going to get a true red. So if you've got the colours, you know, it's nice to go with that. Yes, again, if you want to paint it all red, you can do. But I just think it saves a little bit of work and you get a better effect. Now I'm just going to fill in that little snail at the bottom. Try not to push that bit out. I found another use for that tool that's coming very handy for something. If I go with the white now, there's some red that's going to go in there, but I think it would be easier for me to get the stalk and the gills in first. So what I'm going to do is put some white in there. I'm not paying too much attention as to where it's going yet. Okay, a little bit more white, because you mainly see the underside of this one as well. So let's just go with a little bit more in there. I don't know if that's a toadstool or not, but if it is, doesn't matter.
I suppose if in doubt, fill it with white.
That's it, yeah, and put your colour in afterwards. Now, what I would do with a little tool now is use that to pull away the clay that I've just put in until I reveal the edge.
Oh, I see, yeah.
Of the colour that doesn't want to be white. So a little bit of red. Now this is quite tricky, because although it's a it's a small area, when I roll over the top of this one, it can move a little bit, the clay. So you might find that little bit of colour bleeding through, but we'll see what happens. Now going in with the red again, it doesn't matter if I'm overlapping the white because it's on the back. Just trying to squash a little bit of red into there. So again, that tool is going to be quite useful for that. Really sort of push that in, then go with fingertips. So the nice thing about doing this is you never know if it's going to work until you reveal it.
We're eagerly anticipating. Everybody's so quiet, just watching.
Yeah, I'm just going to top up a little bit where things are a little bit low. I'm going to try not to overfill, because the more I have to move this clay around, the more I'm going to disturb what's underneath.
Okay.
A little bit more on the top there. Again, it doesn't really matter on the colours I use, because this is at the back. So I'm just kind of picking up what I've got spare. Okay. Oh, another thing as well, if any of you leave air dry clay out when it goes dry, if it's slightly dry, you can spritz it with water and revive it.
Okay.
If it goes completely dry, you won't be able to do that. But don't throw it away. Imagine that was dry clay.
Yeah.
All I would do with it is cut it into chunks and use it like foam pads, supports under things.
Clever,
so don't ever throw it away. Okay.
So like with the wings you were talking earlier.
Yeah, yeah. Right, now I'm just going to give this a little bit of a roll over. Now you can tell if it's high or low, because if it's high it's going to spread it over the edge of the mould. If it's low, it's not going to touch it. You'll see where it's not touching it. Now there is another little tip that I will give you, and that is if you're working from a glass mat, or a tile is a good thing to work from, or granite or marble or something like that. If you're not sure, if it's a big mould especially and there's lots and lots of detail, and you're still not sure if you've got all of that detail, flip it over onto your glass mat and press down with the palm of your hand.
Oh, right,
you can roll over the top with a rolling pin as well. Try not to move it, but just give it a little bit of a hand that way. Now sometimes, and this one's not going to do it, sometimes the clay will stick to the glass mat and it will help pull it out of the mould. I prefer it when it doesn't. Now, straight away...
So you're just working your way around again.
Now, I know the red clay was particularly soft compared to the white because it was fresh from the pack, but let's do a little bit of a reveal. Just giving the red a helping hand here. There we go.
Oh, wow.
Just
detail.
There we go.
Wow.
Now there's a little bit of
red.
There's a little bit of overspill there from the edge of the mould, but that's okay because I can just sort of work that in with my fingertip. Can you see there's a little bit of red that should have been there?
Yeah.
So because I've missed that bit, what you can do is go in with some fine bits of clay and literally just piece those in.
So you don't need to wet it or glue it or anything like that?
Do you know, if you get in a line, if you don't want to see it, then you can wet it. You don't need to glue it because the clay sticks to itself. Or a wet wipe, if you've got a wet wipe, you can just wipe it over the top. That's good for getting finger marks out as well, or nail marks. So yeah, a little bit of water on there. I am just going to use a fingertip. It's not bad actually, that. It's not bad at all. And there,
that looks fabulous.
you see, that saved me an awful lot of colouring. I will pick out detail. We'll work on this again tomorrow and I'll pick out more detail with paints and things. But that saved an awful lot of painting. that would be quite difficult. And it didn't take long to do at all.
No, not at all. Absolutely amazing. I love it. There you go. And of course, that's one half of your one day special. It's fascinating, isn't it, watching it all come together? And this is the beauty, that when you get your mould home, you can go back and watch the shows and you'll be able to see those demonstrations, refer back to the beautiful artwork that we've seen that have been created using these, and just enjoy them over and over again. Now, we've got queues on the phone. There's no easy way of telling you this, that they're 30 minutes long, so I do apologise, really do. If I could get upstairs and take the calls myself, I would, but I can't. I've got a show to do after this one. So is Janice doing anything? Not Janice, Janice doing anything for the next hour? He could pop up there, couldn't he? But no, joking apart, we know how frustrating it is. I've been there when I've been trying to book tickets for a particular show and you just find yourself being kicked off a website over and over. So we really do sympathise with you. I can only apologise. We're just trying our best, we're trying our hardest to remedy the situation. So please, please, please do bear with us. Perseverance is key with this one. Sadly, we're the only place you can get hold of these, and the bundle that we've got here is such an amazing deal that so many of you want to take advantage of you. We're looking at immediate dispatch. They are here in our warehouse. I'm not going to give you the address because you'll all be banging on the doors, but please, 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 do persevere, because we've got the stock available, and obviously as soon as we get those orders in the system, we will get them on their way to you. You can see we're limited stock with regards to these already. Yeah, just keep going. Keep going. I really do sympathise with you, and I just wish there was more I can do, but sadly I can't. So 970-744, those are the details on your screen there. So yeah, just keep going with it. Absolutely beautiful. But another piece that we haven't had a chance to have a chat about really at this stage, but we will come to it as the shows progress, and this is your astrolabe, and this one £23.99. It's almost like a project that you've got with the first one, because of course you're going to add in your clay, but it comes with that lens, that cabochon lens that you actually use within this to create almost like a working mechanism with this one. It is phenomenal. Catherine's got hers ready there, so let me just give you the details. It's 969-750, £23.99. And don't forget, when you do place your order for anything that is Zuri related, so not your clays, not any of the pent art stuff that we've got on the show as well, it needs to be Zuri, you will get included one per customer. So if you've already placed your order and you're coming back for additional things, you won't get a second one. But anything that you're placing your order for, you will get this, which you'd normally be paying £9.99 for if you could get hold of it. It's a retired bee that has been bought out of retirement purely by your demand. Yeah, the details are on your screen for that astrolabe. So the astrolabe, very quickly, what have we got with this one then, Catherine?
Right, I've cast this one in resin. We'll make sure we do this at 8 o'clock. We'll work with the resin as well. So it does come in 3 pieces. This is the back piece. My resin is still quite malleable. Then you get the second layer. You can see now how those holes are already there for you. You have, of course, got the top layer. This is where the lens is. Don't lose your lens. It is there in the packet. That will pop in. It fits perfectly, but I will be showing you a way of making those separately as well. I absolutely love that. Now that is just coloured resin, but there's loads of mediums you can apply to that to really bring those details out.
I love it, Catherine. Thank you so much. Thank you again for your company during this hour. Hang on in there. I'm up on my own in the next hour. I'll try and keep you entertained while you waited on those phone queues. We've got happy hour coming up, so we'll be busy for that one as well. But yeah, keep persevering. Catherine, thank you so much.